Hey guys, Ken Scott, Senior, US Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with US Entry Waiver Services.com. You guys remember, we resolve all of your USA border crossing issues. So, what's the day? It's August 14th, 2023. So I just want to do a quick video on a topic that is of interest to you guys. And basically, what it is, long story short, is on our website, we post the items that are less complex to fix, uh, stuff that's less complex slash quicker to fix, stuff that's more complex, more serious criminality, uh, section for PPT, section for um, the 5-year bans, etc. So the bottom line is we've broken this down by 9 or 10 sections, and we're going to break down even more. Today, we'll do a quick video on the section for US Entry Waiver, less complex issues slash quicker to fix. And I'm reading it off the screen, guys, as I'm chatting with you. Such as things like armed robbery, assaulting police, attempted murder, cross-border drug smuggling, death threats, drive-by shooting, gun smuggling, home invasions, loan sharking, money laundering, manslaughter, and more. Guys, believe it or not, these things are less challenging to clear. Now, I didn't say easy, but I said less challenging to clear. Give you an example. Let's look at the one for assaulting police. A few years ago, I was at the actual border and I observed a gentleman walk in. And what happened was he had some liquor he did not declare. So the officer said to him, we have to seize your liquor. And apparently it was high-end scotch. I'm not a scotch drinker, but apparently it was three or $400 scotch he tried to bring in without declaring. Long story short, they found it in the car and they told him they're seizing it. He was not happy in the least for that to happen. And long story short, he said to them, he says, fine, you MFs can take it and drink it and shove it up your, you know what. I'm watching this. I'm like, okay. He was beyond livid. They said, not just, they said, wait a minute, sir, not so fast. I said, you also have to pay a fine for this. He gave them the middle finger. He did like this and said, I'm not paying a MFing thing to you guys. All you cock so-and-sos can kiss my you-know-what. And he's starting to walk out. And they said, no, don't leave. You owe us a fine. He said, F you. And I'm watching the language here because I don't know if Google would ding me for this. But he walked out. Now, that gentleman, if they would approach him, I already know for a fact he would have tried to clock them. That's how angry he was. So they just let him go. Now, the thing is, that kind of situation would not be as difficult to clear because you got to remember stuff like that. That's not really hurting like the masses of society. That's like a separated or isolated incident. So something like that, that's less challenging to clear. There's ways we can approach that to show why he deserves a waiver. That's different. Cross-border drug smuggling, believe it or not, that's less complex to clear for us anyway. Being former federal officers and former law enforcement officers in Washington State, we have the inside knowledge of how this stuff works. And between different agencies, it's similar but different. But long story short, that will not be as difficult to clear. It's still some hoops you have to jump through, hurdles, but we know how to get around that stuff. Drive-by shooting, that one, believe it or not, that is not as hard to clear because quite often for those, the ones we came across here anyway in Surrey, on their RCMP printout, it's unlawful discharge of a firearm or unlawful use of a fire, something along those lines. And that we can get around probably without even needing a waiver. Home invasions, we can get around a similar way. Money laundering does not require a waiver. Sorry, not money laundering, loan sharking, my mistake. Loan sharking does not require a waiver. Money laundering does. But even that one we can get around. Spousal assault, that one we can get around. But the point I'm getting at is you have to know how to approach these things and how to get around them. That's why for us, they are less complex to clear because we have the same regulations that CBP uses and Homeland Security and the American government and these local law enforcement agencies, at least in Washington State. So we have access to a lot of that material still. So we kind of know how they're going to approach this. We know how to basically cut them off the pass and get you guys cleared. So the next video is going to be on, let me see if I can find it here, guys. This one's going to be on US Entry Waiver Services, very complex issues, longer to fix. This is like drug use. Well, telling CBP you did drug use, child molestation, deportations, 5-year bans, fake names, false statements, overstays, working without a visa. Guys, believe it or not, these are more work than what I just mentioned. And quite often the people that have these offenses, their money seems to be a bit tighter for some reason. But guys, with the people with the other offenses, their money doesn't seem to be as tight for some reason. So anyway, so just wanted to just do a quick video here and go over why these are less challenging to clear. Because overall, maybe people might balk at the drug smuggling part, but the other items, they don't really impact society as a group as much compared to the other stuff that I just mentioned. And the other stuff also goes into kind of hard to explain, like internal policies that the CBP and the American government, they can't stand people who make false statements to a federal officer. You're better off being an ex-drug dealer. At least that's less challenging to clear. And they will actually tell you that they can't. That's one thing they can't stand. They cannot stand overstays. That's because of good old Mr. Trump. And the other stuff, I closed that window so I can't really see it. But even the drug smuggling, even that one we can get around. And some might argue that impacts society itself, which it does. But again, with that one, there's ways of getting around that one as well. And I can guarantee you guys right now, especially that one, if it's not done correctly, you will get denied. So just food for thought for you guys. If you cheap out with these discount waiver companies and you've got trafficking or the, stuff I mentioned, and it's not done correctly, you will get denied. And we can turn it around, but just be aware, we're going to charge more money to turn it around because these lawyers and discount waiver companies, to be honest, they fuck up a lot of this stuff. So it's a lot of work to turn this around, and we got to get paid for our time. And right now, we had a 100% success rate as of 2021. So, and prior to that, we're at 98, 99%. But now for the past, I guess that's 3 years, 3 years, we're at 100% success so far. Anyway, guys, Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with US Entry Waiver Services.com. Give us a shout at 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. And just remember, if you're denied entry to USA, we can get you sorted out quite proper. And in the words of my Vulcan colleague, live long and prosper.